But here's the thing about you, Jake Paul. You're a fucking coward. You're a little bitch.
Jake Paul is set to fight Iron Mike Tyson on November 15th. And guess what? Everyone is pissed.
So, you're Iron Mike, man, the baddest man on the planet. How's this fight gonna go, man, against this Disney kid?
Now, Jake has fought a decent number of fights and brought a lot of eyeballs to the game. So why does everyone hate Jake Paul? Let's get right into it.
How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown.
Yeah.
He's a clown.
First off, everyone hates him because he calls himself a boxer.
You duck me because you don't want to lose to a fucking YouTuber. You're 0-1 as a boxer. I'm 2-0 as a boxer. I just came off the 8th biggest pay-per-view event in history, but you want to fight duck?
On paper, Jake Paul's boxing record might look impressive. At 27 years old, standing 6'1" with a 76-inch reach, he's got the physical attributes to be a contender. He holds a professional record of 9-1, with 6 of those wins coming by knockout. If you look at the numbers alone, he seems like a legit boxer. But when you start to dig into the details of each fight, the cracks start to show. Jake started his boxing career fighting celebrities and non-boxers. His first few opponents included a former NBA player, Nate Robinson,
Kryptonate Robinson,
and a fellow YouTuber, Ali Isanjib.
from the East and Isanjib.
Sure, he knocked them out in the opening rounds, but these guys weren't professional fighters. They were just stepping into the ring for the spectacle, not to genuinely compete at a high level. Then he pivoted to fighting retired MMA fighters like Ben Askren, Tyrone Woodley, and Anderson Silva. While these guys were professional fighters, boxing isn't their primary discipline. They represented a step up from his earlier opponents, but they still didn't bring the same threat as a seasoned boxer would. After his unanimous decision victory over Silva, Paul faced his first real test against a professional boxer, Tommy Fury, who handed him his first loss in a controversial split decision.
76-73 for the winner by split decision, Tommy.
After losing to Fury, Paul continued to seek out opponents who, on paper, had respectable records but lacked significant boxing credentials. He fought Andre August,
Texas, Andre August,
and Ryan Borland,
dándole esquina roja.
both of whom had decent records but primarily fought unknown opponents. Paul defeated each of them in the first round, which might sound impressive until you realize that these fighters hadn't faced notable competition and hadn't been active leading up to their fights with Paul. For example, when Paul fought Ryan Borland in March, Borland came in with a 17-2 record but hadn't fought in over a year and a half. Paul caught him with a pair of right-handed shots in the first round, dazing him and forcing the referee to step in. It was a quick and decisive victory, but against an opponent who wasn't at his peak. Despite the criticisms about the quality of his opponents, you can't deny Jake Paul's activity level. He's been busy, fighting 4 times in less than a year. This includes his recent win against Borland and his upcoming fight with Mike Tyson, which will undoubtedly draw even more attention. Now, let's talk about Jake Paul's unconventional rise. Most boxers spend years grinding it out, fighting in amateur bouts and slowly climbing the ranks. It's a path filled with blood, sweat, and tears. But Jake, he skipped all that. He jumped straight into the spotlight with high-profile matches, thanks to his YouTube fame. This move didn't sit well with traditional boxers who see it as a slap in the face to the sport they've dedicated their lives to. Now, let's get into the perceived disrespect for the sport. For Jake, it seems like it's more about entertainment and social media hype than the true spirit of boxing. He's always out there trash-talking, making wild claims, and turning his fights into spectacles.
Fighter pay, putting women's fighting on a pedestal. Look what I've done for this sport. It won't shoot.
Traditional boxers pride themselves on humility, respect, and sportsmanship. Jake's antics? They come off as disrespectful to the values that these athletes hold dear. Let's talk about the money. Jake Paul is raking it in, with massive payouts for his fights. Compare that to seasoned professional boxers who have dedicated their entire lives to the sport, but don't see nearly the same kind of money. It's no wonder there's resentment. Paul's celebrity status means he can command huge deals and sponsorships that most professional boxers can only dream of.
We got the biggest deal ever.
This financial disparity is a big part of why traditional boxers feel so frustrated. And it's not just about the money. Jake Paul's celebrity influence means he's constantly in the media spotlight, overshadowing fighters who have worked hard for years to get any recognition. This influx of social media influencers and celebrities into boxing makes it feel like the sport is turning into a circus. For many, it's a slap in the face to the discipline and dedication that true boxing requires. Now, let's dive into the impact on boxing's image. Many in the boxing world feel that Jake Paul's involvement turns the sport into more of a spectacle than a serious competition. It's like watching a circus act rather than a disciplined sport. This perception hurts the credibility of boxing and diminishes the hard work of those who have dedicated their lives to it. And let's not forget, this isn't just any fight. This is Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, a living legend. Tyson's name alone carries a weight that demands respect.
Best ever.
You scared coward.
For many, seeing a social media star like Jake Paul step into the ring with a heavyweight icon feels almost sacrilegious. It's as if the sanctity of the sport is being compromised for the sake of views and hype. Then there's the issue of setting a precedent. If Jake Paul can make it big in boxing without going through the traditional routes, what does that say to aspiring boxers? It sends a message that fame and followers can replace skill and dedication. This could lead to a flood of unqualified fighters entering the sport, drawn by the promise of quick fame and fortune. It's a scenario that many boxing purists find troubling. The fear is that Jake Paul's success sets a dangerous precedent. If he can come in, make a ton of money, and get all the attention without paying his dues, what's to stop other non-athletes from doing the same? This could dilute the talent pool and undermine the achievements of fighters who have worked their way up the traditional way. It's not just about preserving the sport's integrity, it's about ensuring that those who dedicate their lives to boxing get the recognition and opportunities they deserve. There's also a concern that Paul's approach could encourage more showmanship over skill, turning boxing into a sideshow rather than a respected sport. By prioritizing entertainment and social media hype, it risks overshadowing the discipline, hard work, and respect that are the core values of boxing. This shift could alienate longtime fans and dissuade young, serious athletes from pursuing boxing as a career. So, while Jake Paul is undeniably bringing new eyes to boxing, it's clear why many in the boxing community are not happy about it. His rise challenges the traditions and values that have been the backbone of the sport for generations. The true essence of boxing, grit, perseverance, and the honor of the fight is at stake. In the end, the disdain for Jake Paul isn't just about his personality or his antics. It's about what he represents. A shift in boxing from a sport of skill, respect, and tradition to a platform for entertainment and spectacle. This transformation might bring temporary fame and fortune, but it could also erode the very foundation that makes boxing a revered and honorable sport. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more boxing content, and drop a comment with your thoughts. See you in the next one.
You heard it right, motherfucker. I'm fighting Mike Tyson.